Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We've got a guest on the show this morning. He's making his debut on the show. We'll be looking at the topics. We have a retired referee. He was, in fact, when he was at the center of it all, he's a special man. Right now, he's with the Teqball Federation, Head of Communication and ICT Teqball. That is Promise Owaime. Welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
As a referee, how does it feel when you were very active? Let's start from there before we begin from the main story this morning.
You know, I've heard people over time say that it's interesting. For me, it puts me on the spot because every time I have to study, I have to read, I have to make sure that I don't take decisions that will either deny a team a goal or cost them a goal. So every time I'm always on my feet to ensure that I do what I'm supposed to do.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, let's start with this particular story. It's an interesting story. When it comes to the ping pong game, we know the owners of ping pong game. Actually, the Chinese are the owners of ping pong, but Nigeria also hold it their own when it comes to table tennis. And that is where we'll be starting from this morning, where the president of the ITF, that is the International Table Tennis Federation, is Nigerian. Oshodi is saying yes, he's keen on the growth of table tennis on the continent of Africa, and that is the major target for 2025 for our man Oshodi, who won the election just last year to become the ITF president on the continent of Africa. And he's saying yes, one of his focus for the year 2025 is to see how he's going to take table tennis to the next level on the continent of Africa, and Nigeria also will benefit being the president of the International Table Tennis Federation on the continent of Africa.
Of course, he had no choice, if you ask me, because for you to aspire to be in that position is not child's play. And of course, again, we know that Nigeria have always had our own when it comes to table tennis, the likes of the Kodri and co and all that. So him working to develop table tennis more in Africa will be a good thing for table tennis players in Africa.
Okay, and we are looking at 2025 in general for table tennis. We have about three let me say continental event for 2025 where the players will have the numerous opportunities to actually improve themselves, and that event will start with Aruna Kadri and Dina Masref defending their title by next month. Now, having a Nigerian at the helm of affairs, what does it really mean for us this year 2025?
For me, it puts us on the spot in the sense that we need to prove a point. Of course, he's not going to do so much. He's not doing so much for the Nigerian players, but it's going to put us on the spot. So, and this is where the National Sports Commission comes in to give the athletes all the necessary support they need to do well at that point.
Okay, all the necessary support they need to do well. That event will be happening in Tunis, that is Tunisia precisely, from February the 25th to 27th, 2025, where we are going to be seeing some of the best African players on the continent showcasing their talent. And we know that our own Aruna Kadri and Dina Masref will be there slugging it out. Who is the best of the best on the continent of Africa when it comes to table tennis? All right, let's leave that story quickly, and it's also a good news for us on the continent of Africa, because this award was put together to celebrate excellence when it comes to another sport that Nigeria is thriving in. Cricket this time around. It was 2024 Stump Awards, where they are looking at the best of cricketers, administrators, players on the continent of Africa, and just the award held over the weekend, Nigeria dominated that award in cricket.
Of course, I'm not surprised, because over the throughout 2024 we saw the various national teams traveling here and there and doing very well. So I'm not surprised that they won those awards. And for me, it's a boost for both for the players and the administrators, and it's going to go a long way in motivating them to do more in 2025.
Okay, it will go a long way in motivating them to do well. And one of those awards was the Nigerian under-19 cricket women's team won the best female team on the continent of Africa, having qualified at the expense of top teams on the continent for the ICC under-19 cricket World Cup. And Leke Oyede, that's the coach of the team, head coach of the Nigerian national team, winning the best coach on the continent ahead of Uganda's Jackson Wang, Kati Makomb of Malawi, and Nigerians women's coach team Sarah Bahita of Kenya. So Nigeria dominated that award. Also, the Edo State Cricket Association also voted the best grassroots development program in 2024 on the continent, beating Suruti Cricket Academy, Uganda Cricket Youth Hope, Rwanda, Northern Cosmopolitan Cricket Club, Nigeria Pets Foundation, Nigeria, and Abino Kondoti Foundation of Nigeria. And picking, we have one of the best high cricket performers in Edo State.
Of course, if you check what the Edo State Sports Commission has been doing over the years, they try to develop them from the grassroots. They try to support them, and if you watch most of the national teams, they also have players that dominate the national team. So they are doing whatever they do. And very interestingly, I was shocked when I saw cricket being played in Gombe and all that. So so other states are also taking clue to see how they can develop cricket.
Okay, develop cricket, and congratulations to all of the winners at the 2024 Stump Award just over the weekend, and kudos to the Nigerian Cricket Federation for making sure, yes, that cricket becomes a household name. I think we can switch a little bit from football to cricket.
For me, there is need for the leadership of the National Sports Commission to look at other lesser sports, because whether we like it or not, cricket can be considered as one of the lesser sports. So there is need for them to pay more attention to the lesser sports, and let's see if maybe by the time we go to African Games or go to the Olympics, we'll be able to gather more medals.
Gather more medals, and also the Nigerian cricket women team at the inaugural of cricket debuting at the African Games. Nigeria won bronze in that particular competition hosted by Ghana. All right, let's leave that awards, and now we'll talk the round leader game. It was match day 4 in the Nigerian National League, the most important league in the country. We know teams get promoted from the NNL to play in the MPFL. For the MPFL, they are on break for the season, but NNL, it was match day 4 after resumption of hostilities also from their own break, and we had Conference A, Conference B, Conference C, and D. Let's quickly bring up the result before we look at Sporting Lagos securing a derby victory. Okay, if you look at the Conference A and B on the screen right now, we see some result beside it. Dakada and Inter Lagos played a goalless draw, while Smart City defeated Ijebu United by 2-0. And then the likes of Abia Comment, Warri Wolves, Smart City FC, and Beyond Limits FA, first, second, third, and fourth. That is in Conference A. And then in Conference B, you have Kun Khalifa FC, you have Osun United, and then you have Sporting Lagos on the third position there. Osun United and topping as Kun Khalifa topping Conference B, and then in Conference A we have Abia Comets. For the NNL, the most important league in Nigeria.
Yes, important league. For me, if you tell me, I'll tell you on paper the most important league. But I'm not surprised what we're seeing in the NNL. It's becoming more competitive, especially for that reason of you won't be able to sell your slot when you promote. So teams know that I can't just play to promote if I'm not ready to play in the Premier League and all that. So, but it's interesting. Interesting result is coming out. Inter Lagos was at the Super 8 last season,
yeah.
And now 2 matches, they narrowly lost the first and a draw, both away. For me, I think it's a good start for Sporting Lagos. And I'm not surprised that 2 wins from 2 games.
2 wins from 2 games, and that second win was against Gateway United. their neighboring team, that is in Ogun State. Conference A and B, let's look at Conference C and D. We have Wiki Tourists of Bauchi topping with 7 points. We have Sokoto United second with 6 points and +4 and +2 goals for +4 goals for Wiki Tourists, and Sokoto United having +2. We have Gombe United on the 3rd position. Mighty Jets of Jos also getting an away win in March the 4th with 5 points. They are on the 4th position there. We have Zamfara United, we have Barao FC of Kano, 2 points, and Jigawa Golden Stars all standing on 2 points. And then in Conference D, Sporting Supreme FC of Abuja. I am proud because it's our own. Basira FC is second, 7 points for Sporting Supreme. Basira has 6 points. And then Doma United is on the 3rd position with 5 points. Yobe Kada Warriors having 4 points with Yobe Desert Stars. And then we have Adama United with 3 points. And Kebbi United having 2 points, occupying the bottom in Conference D. Now, Sporting Supreme, I think it's our time. We are in the FCT because it is our own. Yeah. It's our time we have an MPFL team.
I'm not disputing that fact, but the fact remains that if a team from FCT gets promoted to the Premier League, would they be able to play in the FCT? These are questions that we need to ask. These are fundamental questions. If we talk about the National Stadium, okay, yes, the National Stadium might pass, we pass
the league
standard and all that, but then would they be able to pay? Not fully aware that Sporting Supreme is a private-owned club. Will they be able to pay? Do they have the financial muscle to be able to play their league games at the National Stadium and all that? So, for me, I want an FCT team to be in the Premier League, but there are other factors that we need to consider, and maybe this is where the government needs to come in, look at ways to upgrade some of the facilities or build new facilities. Like we saw the upgrade at the Buhari Township Stadium,
yes,
who has also given a facelift quality when it comes to standard of the pitch, and even the terrains are also looking very good. But can it host the Premier League? I doubt. So there are need for the FCT administration to look at other area councils. There's a stadium in Kuje. There is one that was supposed to be the Amak own is supposed to be somewhere around Nyanya or something like that. The Opare ground. There is need to upgrade these facilities so that if the opportunity comes that they get promoted, they'll be able to play at home, because it doesn't make any sense. For instance, look at Lobby playing their home games in Lafia. You understand? And some of these things, the Benue fans, the Lobby fans that are based in Lobby, that are supposed to see every week that they play at home, they're supposed to see the game, will have to travel if you must do that and all that, which is also no good. So for me, I want them to get promotion. But for where they are on the league, on the log, I'm not surprised. Last season they did very well. By this time last season, they were already running so high. By this time last season, the point gap was obvious and all that, and they were in the Super 8. Narrowly they missed the promotion. I hope they will be able to be in the Super 8 again this time around, and who knows, they might be able to get to the Premier League.
Okay, they might be able to get to the Premier League. The NNL is the most important league in the country. That is what it is, because teams are being promoted from the Nigerian National League to the NPFL, and it is what it is. But general assessment so far, just 4 matches, we've seen good organization from the NPFL also transcending to the NNL.
Yeah, yes, good organization. Yes, I agree with you. Maybe because we're still in the first round. I'll tell you from experience, maybe we're still in the first round, or maybe we're seeing the impact of the new administration at the NFF, trying to make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do and do it when they're supposed to do it and all that. But I hope it continues like this and runs through the end of the season and all that. But so far so good. We've seen team lose at home and there is no issues, apart from the issue that we recorded in Daura over the weekend, where
yes, of course,
the fans of Jigawa, who is playing away from home,
you're trying to play some foul games.
Yes, and a camera was damaged, Mighty Jet camera was damaged and all that. But outside that, we've seen KB, if I'm not mistaken, losing at home in the first week, and there was no issue. Barrow of Kano drew with Mighty Jet at home. There was no issue. Mighty Jet also drew against Wiki at home. There was no issues. And these are places these are red zones that those days that you will say if you don't get your 3 point, there will be issues and all that. So I think everybody is living up to responsibility at this time, to their responsibility at this time, making sure that they follow the rules and do what they're supposed to do, because they know that if they don't follow the rules, the laws will definitely fall on them.
The loss will definitely come after them. We can see some result on the screen right there. Dakada beating Inter Lagos 1-0, Smart City 2-0 against Beyond Limits FA. And we have Abia comments, goalless with Warri Wolves, same result with Igbajo United FC against Ijele. And then Del FC peeped 1472 FC of Lagos 1-0 in Conference B. You can see the result on Shun United 1-0 over Abakaliki FC. Rovers, that is Calabar Rovers, and Kun Khalifa playing a 1-1 draw. Solution FC beat First Bank FC of Lagos 2-0. And then we have Gospel Akpabio team, their first win of the season, 3-1 against Madiba FC. Sporting Lagos, yes, that is a derby game, 2-0 against Gateway United. Jigawa Golden Stars lost at home to Mighty Jets. You heard that, where we had some issues, but hopefully, as we progress this, we can see some of this hooliganism and crowd violence will be stamped out completely. And then Sokoto United 3-1 against Zamfara United FC. Gombe United beating Barao FC 2-1. Sporting Supreme 2-0 against Kada Warriors of Kaduna. Doma United 2-1 against Adama United. And Kebbi United FC and Basira playing a 1-1 draw. It is match day 4 in the Nigerian National League. All right, let's quickly go straight to the let's say the mother of the league, or the father of the league. That is the Nigerian Premier Football League, NPFL. And we're looking at one team on the show this morning. NPFL is on break. Quickly, Kano Pillars fans are beginning to worry for the poor run of result of Kano Pillars.
Of course. Kano Pillars at a point used to be one of the biggest teams in the country, having won the league, won the FA Cup. They did back-to-back of the league. I remember I used to have a friend who happens to be a Kano Pillars fan, and he would tell me they did back-to-back, and all that. So it's interesting. And if at this point they are worried, yes, there is need for them to worry. Since they came back to the Premier League, it's expected that they are supposed to take their place and dominate the league. But unfortunately, that result is not coming. So probably there's something that they're not doing right. But I think them signing the likes of Ahmed Musa into the team would be also yes, and Abdullahi Shehu will also boost their performance, and we'll see. And we can see vividly very well that Ahmed Musa is also holding his ground and scoring the goals and making impact in the team and all that. So it's a good one. Just that the result is not what the fans expect at this point. Okay.
Just that the result is not what the fans expected. At this moment, we've seen the first phase of the Nigerian Premier Football League come to an end. Though Remo Stars are topping, followed by Rivers United and Shooting Stars of Ibadan are third, with Enugu Rangers occupying the 4th position. And we know the team that is at the bottom of the Nigerian Premier Football League, the likes of Lobby Stars, Aqua United, and Nasarawa United, all of them at the red zone in the Nigerian Premier Football League. All right, let's leave the NPFL quickly. We are going to the special focus on the show this morning. We are looking at Teqball. Before we speak to Promise Unwaime on Teqball development in the country, let's just enjoy some of these highlights, and we will be right back. Yes, welcome back from that video break. Fantastic sport, interesting sport. Before we go into the nitty gritty, promise, uh, tell us what Teqball is all about.
Okay, the simplest definition we get is Teqball is a sport that has a combination or elements of football and table tennis, played over a curved table. It's as simple as that. So the moment you have the skills to be able to control the ball, you can play Teqball. So for football players in Europe presently, Teqball is big teams in Europe use Teqball as one of the tools to also train for skills because it gives you discipline. Because in Teqball there are rules. You can't have more than 3 touches. You can't play with the same body part repeatedly. All that. So the rules helps you to be very disciplined when it comes to. So if you're a football player and you can play, Teqball is one of the sports that is recommended for you to train because it gives you that discipline that you require to play in the field of play.
Okay, now let's now bring it down to Nigeria. So far, so good. How far has been the development of this particular sport in Nigeria?
Yes, administratively we will say yes. Over the years, it was a bit slow at first, but then all the requirement has been met. In 2020, the federation was established, and that's in 2020 we were able to get the recognition of the international federation, recognizing the Nigerian Teqball Federation. Then in 2021, we got the recognition of the Nigerian Olympic Committee. And last year, we got the recognition. Then the Ministry of Sports Development, now National Sports Commission and all that. So administratively, it was slow at first, but it's up there now. Teqball has also been at the National Sports Festival as an exhibition sport. Once the sports festival that was held in Asaba, we are hopeful that it will be making its second appearance at the National Sports Festival by
Gateway Games.
Yes, we are hoping that it will make the second appearance. All paperwork being done at the moment to make sure that it makes that appearance. When it comes to a championship, we had our first championship in 2021, the Challenger Series in 2021, and we had Kwara State and Plateau dominating the medals table. Then Delta was in the medals table, Edo as well. We also had challengers. We also had the Teqball tour in Asaba Delta State last year. We had the qualifiers also last year, the World Championship qualifiers last year. So we had 2 major events last year, which was also massive. Then this year we had the qualifiers in Abia State, and we had the first one that is happening the first time in Nigeria, in Africa, where a private company is coming in to partner with the federations to organize a championship. That's the highlights. The highlights that we saw on the screen earlier came from. It was held in Jos, sponsored by the Plateau State government, and it was massive. We had about 10 states participate, and it was an interesting moment. Coupled with the fact that our athletes were also preparing for World Championship that same period, so it was a moment for the athletes that they were so happy.
Okay, now what is the modalities that you people are putting in place to take this particular sports to the grassroots?
Okay, yes, there are state associations, just like we have in other federations. We have the Nigerian Teqball Federations, we have state Teqball associations, and right now, as I speak to you, we have about 27 state associations out of the 36 plus FCT. We have about 27 already established. Some states also Teqball is being played in some states, even though they don't have an association yet. Through the international federation, the Nigerian Teqball Federation was able to distribute tables because it's played over a curved table, so you have to play it on the table. Was able to distribute tables to all these states. Some of the states got 2 tables because they had the modalities for the distribution then was that for the top MPFL teams and the Nigerian Women's League team then got. So teams that had 2, and some other teams, other states also got 2 tables and all that. So it is the responsibilities of the state associations at this moment to now take it down to their grassroots, and they are getting all the necessary support that they need to be able to take it to the grassroots. Part of the programs that was designed for the Challenger Series in Jos was to have a road show, take it to the street where people will be able to see the sport, and the venue that was also chosen for for the event, for the Challenger Series in Jos, was a very strategic place so that people can see the sport as it's being played, and it dragged. We had massive crowd coming to, and we had this testimony of coaches that are in football already saying they are moving their players to go and play Teqball, because you don't need a large size. You don't need a large size to play Teqball, in the sense that if you are going to participate in a fight event championship, probably you need 4 athletes, 2 male, 2 female, or in most cases 3 male, 3 females, to be able to play in all categories. So you don't even need, it's not like football where you need to travel with 20 players and many officials. So with 6 players and maybe 2 officials, 3 officials, you can travel to any event. So plans, there are states that have even done greatly when it comes to developing. Like I said earlier, Kwara was dominating. Delta State is developing athletes that you don't want to even imagine where they are coming from and all that. We had 1 or 2 challenges in FCT, but yes, we have a coach in FCT now that is also creating serious awareness, and players are coming to play. And you'll be shocked with the kind of players that they're discovering and the skills that they possess. Even the so-called big players in Teqball are already scared of the new ones coming in because of the kind of skills they already, and the kind of passion they have for the game and all that. So right now I can tell you that the growth is really, really encouraging, and we hope that it continues that way.
Okay, now, before I ask you this question, first thing first, is there any age stipulated for Teqball?
Yes, there is an age limit for Teqball, in the sense that for you to play in an international event, you have to be 14 years and above for you to play in an international event, because of safety measures and other, how the table is curved, the kind of material the tables is made from. So they expect that at the age of 14 you should be able to protect yourself, or be able to understand certain reasons why certain rules are made and all that. But even at 10 you can play Teqball, but just that you can't participate in international events.
Hi, but can I play?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. Now, what has been the challenges of the sports in Nigeria? What has been those challenges that you people have faced as a federation, the sports in general? What has been the challenges?
Of course, the biggest challenge has been funding for all sports in Nigeria. Even the so-called big sports, basketball, football.
But we thank God.
Basketball, football, they also face those challenges. But we hope that with the coming of the National Sports Commission, some of these challenges will be minimized or reduced to the BRS minimum, in the sense that they are trying to collaborate with corporate organizations and see how they can support sports federations, support lesser sports events in Nigeria and all that, and also from the government support them. Because again, traveling for international events is a big challenge, because some of these countries very, very difficult to secure visa to travel. You know, for Victor, Nigerian #1, to travel to Vietnam for the World Series that happened in Vietnam earlier, I think sometime in March or May. The International Federation had to get involved for them to get visa on arrival and all that. If not, they wouldn't have been able to travel. They couldn't go for the World Championship because the visa on arrival approval came very late for them to travel and all that. So, but if the Sports Commission can collaborate with some of these, through the federal government, collaborate with some of these countries, it will be easier for these things. And you can imagine when this athlete knows that if they qualify for international event, they'll be able to participate. They won't have hitches of maybe visa or traveling arrangements and all that, how committed they will be in the sport. Right, presently, I tell you, the kind of trainings that Victor does, because he's going to participate in the European League, you'll be shocked that most football players don't even do those kind of trainings.
Okay, now, thank God that the president, 72 billion naira has been projected for sports in 2025. So we believe Teqball will enjoy part of that fund. Now, talking about Victor, how well has he been on competition-wise in Nigeria, and then at the international scenes, the federation? What are the programs for this particular sport this year, 2025?
Okay, you know, when the federation got the ministry's recognition, the government recognition, there are conditions that we'll also have to meet, which include the government appointing, through the ministry, appointing the secretary of the federation, appointing their few key members of that will head the secretariat and all that. So they are responsible to do most of these paperwork and ensure that we'll have adequate training program and competitions at that level. However, even the federation, the federation is also making arrangement to allow private organizations to also come in and organize Teqball championship, Teqball programs, just like we have in football. You can have, you can't even count the number of competition that is going on presently, football competition that is going on in the country as of today. You understand? So if that happens, I'll tell you that there will be a lot of programs for Teqball players within the year. Also for Victor, he's going to play in European League this season because Teqball has a way that they have there is a new program that was started last year that you have leagues like a series in different countries or in different cities. Let's say, for instance, in Nigeria, the Challenger Series that was held in Jos was supposed to be for 3 states. It was supposed to start in FCT. From FCT, they moved to Lafia and play. After Lafia, they go to Jos, and that will be grand finale. So something like similar is happening in Europe, and he's going to play there. So he's preparing and he's getting all the necessary support. We also pray that the government, through the National Sports Commission, also gives him that support to be able to cater for those travel arrangements to avoid delays and all that.
Okay, now let's take it international a little bit. What are the things that the International Federation is doing? Want to seek Teqball in Commonwealth Games, Olympic Games, and
yes, for the International Federation, they have serious plans to get involved at the even at the Olympics. And one of the criteria to be in the Olympics is that the sport must be in existence for at least a decade.
Okay, how many years?
Now Teqball has completed 10 years already, so we're hopeful that Teqball will be in the next Olympics in 2028. Now, however, Teqball is also expected to for you to be an Olympic sport, you're also expected to cover a number of member associations of the Olympic of IOC.
Yeah.
And presently, I can tell you that Teqball is recognized in all the confederations, including ANOCA and all that. Now, the International Federation has been able to organize 2 events in Africa: the African Beach Games in 2019 and the African Beach Games 2024. And in that 2024, I forgot to mention that out of the 3 events that was hosted, Nigeria won the gold and 2 silver, so which is massive. So Nigeria is dominating. Nigeria is a big force when it comes to Teqball in Africa. Then at the last African Games, Teqball was also supposed to be
alongside cricket.
Was supposed to be there. Yes, at the point the International Federation felt, or maybe there was a disconnect between the International Federation and the LOC, and the International Federation pulled out of that event because they were expecting, based on the kind of investment they've also done in Africa, based on the level of development they've brought to that Teqball has covered in Africa, that they expected that Teqball should be a medal sport. But the LOC decided, or the main organizing committee wanted it to be an exhibition, which they couldn't agree, and that was why Teqball was not debuted at the African Games. But I can tell you that Teqball is growing, and I won't be surprised if we will have an international event in Africa this year again, because they are also looking for the collaborations to bring the rest of the world to Africa.
Okay, where is Nigeria standing on the continent of Africa and in the world when it comes to Teqball? Okay,
Teqball has a kind of rules that might seem funny to you, because at a point it was funny to me, but it is what it is. It is the rules. Now, for every rank, for every event that an athlete participates, an athlete gathers points, depending on the level you get to. If it is a level B, a category C championship, you gather about 120 points if you win it. If it's a category B event, you gather about 480 points if you win. If it's a category A event, which is the World Championship, if you win gold, you gather about 1,280 points. Now, these are the points that they use for the ranking. Now, when you gather all these points, it accumulates to where you are placed on the ranking table. Now, our challenge is, again, interestingly, those points that you gather expires after 2 years.
Wow.
So if you play an event in 2025 January and gather a certain point, by 2027 January, that point is deducted from whatever you have. That way, it means the table continues to So, yes. Now, the challenge we had, Victor at the point was number 2, and the federation was ranked 2nd in Africa and 17th in the world at a point.
Wow.
But because of lack of events and all that, Victor now drops to about 64 in the world ranking in the singles event, and the federation around that number as well and all that because of events. So we hope that, and that's why the federation is collaborating with corporate organizations to see how they can organize more international, world ranking recognized events, you understand, so that the athletes will grow in ranking and the federation will also grow in ranking.
Okay, how many players can play Teqball?
We have 5 categories in Teqball. We have the singles event, which is singles event for males and female. Okay. That's 2 categories. We have the doubles event. So the highest number of players that we can have for a game is 2 against 2. That's in the doubles event. Then we have also the mixed double, making it 5 categories. So 2 players against 2 players is the highest that we have.
Okay, it's just like when you see table tennis or the tennis proper, what you call lawn tennis. I think they share similarities, but the rules are different, and the rules is the rules. We have been looking at the development of Teqball in Nigeria with promise. All right, we will still come back to that before we go away from the show. Finally, let's go straight to Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. It is the CAF Confederations Cup match day 4. Yes, for Enyimba International of Aba, yes, it was a sigh of relief, and one man showed class in that goal. You can see him on the screen right now with a smile on his face, where Enyimba beat Black Bulls of Maputo 4-1 to get their first group stage win. After 3 games, 1 draw for them and 2 losses. But now they've gotten a win, giving them 4 points. They are still 4th on the table, despite with 4 points, 4th on the table. But I think it was a good win for Stanley Neguma, his first game on the continent with his new team, Enyimba of Aba.
Yes. For me, I agree with you that it's a good start for Stanley Eguma, but then I'm not sure Stanley has also done much to this team. We know the quality of the team before he came in. Unfortunately, they were not scoring a lot of goals. Even in the domestic league, they were not scoring a lot of goals. But for me, I think the previous coach has done a great work, because even before he left the team, or before Stanley Eguma came in, they've only lost 2 games. Throughout the season, throughout the first stanzas, they've only lost 2 games, and for me it wasn't bad. So I wasn't surprised that the win came, because the challenge all this while is that they've been playing fantastic football. They've been creating chances, but we couldn't. And football is a game of goals.
Scoring.
So the team with the highest number of goals wins. So if you're not scoring goals and you conceive, it's a big blow.
Okay, it's a big one for Enyimba and for Brownie there. I think getting his first goal in is on the continent, playing, and that was a debut game for him. That moment was a fantastic one for Brownie there. Class, experience, you see the difference.
Yes, it should be a big one for him, because a lot of people didn't give him chance, even though an international national team player at the point, an AFCON good winner and all
yes,
that.
Of course.
But a lot of people didn't give him chance. So for me, it's a big one. I agree that it's a big one for him. And I will tell you that this is where experience comes in. This is where experience comes in. You know, he came with a lot of experience, and thank God it's working for him. Okay,
thank God it's working for him. Let's see how he's going to at least impute that experience into other players in that team. All right, let's move away from the Enyimba story and quickly go straight to the English Premier Football League. We know that some leagues, the leagues in Europe are on break. Some of them are on break, but for the EPL, there was no break for the English Premier League, and there were games over the weekend. Let's look at the result, and then we'll look at the table in the English Premier Football League. And one team yesterday came back after struggling. Someone said they play against big teams. Manchester United was able to get a 2-2 draw at Anfield.
When the game was on, somebody was like, it wasn't. I said, this is a very fantastic result for Manchester United, considering the form of Liverpool at this point. For me, it's a big result for them and their position on the table. So it's a big result for Manchester United. I expected Liverpool to take the day.
Okay, we all expected Liverpool to beat Manchester United silly. But United, Ruben Amorim had other plans under his sleeves. Let's look at the full result of games that were played. Tottenham Hotspur lost at their home ground to Newcastle United. Alexander Isak continued to defy all odds for Newcastle up front. FC Bournemouth peeped Everton 1-0. Also, Bournemouth is flying high this season. Aston Villa beat Leicester City, who are struggling 2-1 at the Villa Park. Crystal Palace and Chelsea, Mateta getting an equalizer from the spot against Chelsea after Palmer put them ahead. 1-1 that game ended. Both teams are in London. Manchester City beat West Ham United, their second game on the road, winning, as in their second game winning. At least they've won 2 games back-to-back for Manchester City. 4-1 against West Ham United at the Etihad, and Brentford went straight to St. Mary 5-0 against another team that's struggling. Brighton and Arsenal, Pedro leveling from the point from the spot, also played a 1-1 draw at the American Express Stadium. Fulham, yes, Alexi Wobia and his boys with Silva, they all did their best against Ipswich Town, who are also trying to go out of the relegation zone. 2-2 draw at the Craven Cottage. Liverpool and Manchester United playing a 2-2 draw. This man, Ahmed Diallo, loves scoring against Liverpool after he did give Manchester United winning in the FA Cup semi-final last season against Liverpool, where he actually got a red card for pulling his shirt. That's the second yellow card in that game, though. Let's look at the table quickly and see what that draw means for Manchester United. Liverpool, despite that draw, still leading the charge with 6 points, 46 points now ahead of Arsenal, who are second with 40 points. Nottingham Forest, who has a game in hand, will be playing later on today. We'll be bringing up that fixture on Sports Update. They have 37 points, and Chelsea is fourth with 36 points. We have Newcastle United, who are fifth with 35 points. Man City now moves to the 6th position, 34 points. Bournemouth 33 points on the 7th position. Aston Villa 8th with 32 points. And we have Fulham on the 9th position with 30 points. And Brighton has 28 points, occupying the 10th position after 20 games. Brentford 11th with 27 points. We have Tottenham Hotspur on the 12th position with 24 points. Manchester United now leapfrog West Ham to the 13th position with 23 points, having minus 5 goal difference, with West Ham having 15 minus 15 goal difference. That's a deficit. Crystal Palace is 15th with 21 points, and then we have Everton 16th with 17 points, Wolves 17th, 16 points, Ipswich Town 16 points on the 18th position, Leicester City 19th with 14 points, and Southampton remains at the bottom with minus 32 points and 6 points. That means they've conceded more goals than any other team this season in the EPL. Also in the Italian Serie A, let's go to Italian Serie A. There were games over the weekend, and we had Napoli getting a win in the Italian Serie A. Venezia and Empoli playing a 1-1 draw. Napoli beat Fiorentina 3-0 away. Hellas Verona played a goalless draw with our own Maduka Okoye's team, Udinese, whose Maduka Okoye is out injured after that surgery on his wrist, and we are expecting him to be back soon for Udinese. Monza and Cagliari played a 2-1 against Monza. Cagliari winning that game. Lecce and Genoa goalless. Torino and Parma goalless, and Roma beat Lazio at their stadium in Rome 2-0 against Lazio. And then the table looks fantastic. Napoli now top after 19 games with 44 points. Our own Ademola Luxman team, Atalanta, is second with 41 points. If they win today's game, they will go back to the top of the table, courtesy of a goal difference of 23 and 18. We have Inter Milan on the 3rd position with 40 points. We have Lazio 4th with 35 points. Juventus is 5th, 32 points. And we have AS Roma occupying the 10th position on the first side of the table. Udinese, AC Milan, Bologna, Fiorentina, and Juventus, all of them completing the top 10 in the Italian Serie A. The flip side of the table quickly. Let's look at the flip side of the table. We have Torino, Empoli, Genoa, Parma, Verona, Como 1907, Cagliari, Lecce, Venezia, and Monza. Let's talk about one thing quickly before we go over to France. For Atalanta, Ademola Luxman team, they are pushing to see if they can win the league this season. We cannot judge them because this is the first half they've played. If they play their game in hand, 19 games, that means they've played the first phase of the season.
Yes, for me, I think with their performance or with the way they ended the season last summer, they deserve to be where they are right now. And if they continue like this, I hope they'll be able to win the league at the end.
Okay. If they continue like this with Ademola Lookman charging up front alongside Shimidix and co, definitely Atalanta will be crowned champions. Let's go straight to France. Yes, there were league games and cup game, but we'll look at just the cup game final. It is the French cup final in Ligue 1, where PSG lifted that trophy after beating Monaco 1-0, courtesy of Dembele's late winner to give PSG that particular trophy. And for PSG, that is the clean sheet for a record 11 times in the last 12 years. Is the cup game meant for PSG?
Of course, PSG is the biggest team in France, if you ask me. But maybe the league is not, or France football is not as competitive as that of England, Spain, Italy, and the rest of them. But I think they deserve to enjoy all they need to enjoy at home, because internationally, it will be very difficult for them at this point.
Okay, all right, because we are out of time before we go away from the show. Tennis, where one lady defied the odds. You can see her on the screen. Coco Gauff, after beating world number 1, Iga Swiatek, world number 2, I beg your pardon, Iga Swiatek, and then also Taylor Fritz beating Poland's Hubert Huzak to give USA United Cup. They won that cup final in Sydney, and it is the second one for United States winning the United Cup in an emphatic manner. And congratulations to all of the winner, Coco Gauff, Hubert Huzak, for making sure that US tops that particular competition. All right, this is where we'll be leaving it on the show. 360 Sports this morning. Thanks, Promise Wyman. Yes, I believe after leaving the studio, I will register to play the Teqball sport.
Of course, you're welcome, and I'll be very glad to be the first to beat you.
Okay, all right, Promise, thanks for coming on the show. It's good one having you.
Thank you very much, and it's a nice day for me.
Okay, that is it on the program 360 Sports. Coming to your screen from Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.